Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on how savvy librarians are solving Australia's skills gap and achieving positive development outcomes for people in society. So my name is Matthew Hedrick. I'm the head of partnerships at My Careers, and I want to introduce the two people I'm going to be firing a few questions at today around this beautiful topic. Is our founder and CEO, Fergus Crease. Hello, Fergus.
Howdy, everyone. Great to see you here today.
As well as Rod Riley, who's the sales manager from James Bennett. If you want to say hello for us, Rod.
Afternoon, all. Thanks for the invite.
Anytime, man. Anytime. So I think, quick game's a good game. Let's dive straight into it. I'm going to start with you, Rod. But I'd love to hear a little bit about some of the challenges that libraries and their communities are facing at the moment.
Yeah, look, I think, as we all know, libraries play an integral role in the communities that they serve. And that's only been heightened through the pandemic of the last few years. So with fingers crossed, we're hopefully moving into a new phase of the pandemic where lockdowns are behind us. But what we know is that the world's changed, since then. And a lot of people who may have lost their jobs during the pandemic are back out in the workforce and looking for work. And we know that they're using public libraries for that purpose. So we think a resource like My Careers is something that can be extremely useful for helping libraries connect with their communities and engage those cohorts that might be coming back to the library after not using it for some time, or even potentially just looking for a career change at that time in their career. So that was one of the key drivers that kind of allured My Careers to us at James Bennett when we first saw it, reaching that really important group and supporting the community on the back of the pandemic. But also we know that libraries are a really important resource for students and young adults and school leavers. And so we thought, we know that these people are coming to the libraries from school, between school and home, and using the libraries as a study space. But giving the libraries a resource like My Careers that can help really engage that cohort, we think is something that's really important.
Yeah, it's really important. Libraries they're a hub, they're a community hub, and it's great to see that so many people are coming back to the libraries after the pandemic. Obviously, so many libraries from all over Australia and New Zealand were closed down. And it's just great to see those doors open. I'm lucky enough to have the Burundara Q Library down the road, and my wife and I visit there frequently, and it's just great to be going back in there. So now moving on, let's have a chat about the skills shortages and the skills gap. So Fergus, this one's for you. What are the challenges around the current and future job markets and skill shortages across, not just here in Australia, New Zealand, but also across the globe?
Yeah, look, we really are facing some challenges in getting individuals through to a lot of the challenges that we're having with the growth of Australia and across the globe, but we're having challenges getting the right people into the right careers. But also when we're looking at the skills gap, sometimes it's promoted just to get people in there, but unfortunately then we don't get the right people. So they're dropping out of that career as soon as they go into that further education, the upskilling, or actually end up in the career that they're not really happy with. So when we look at this, we've got pretty great access at the moment to cognitive assessments, but we've had to build a more holistic mixture. So that enables people to come through a system where they can look at these unstructured data sets on personal attributes, human behavior, and individual trait behavior, and then connect that in with futures which are really rewarding, but are also adaptable. So as different careers change over time, people can really understand their value as a human being and how that connects in with such a variety of different options. It's also giving those the opportunity, not just students, but people that are further down the track in life, to go into in-demand jobs which are really easily accessible. And we're loving solving challenges such as generational unemployment by being able to promote small sets of upskilling to enable individuals to go straight through into very accessible careers.
It's really, really interesting, especially that in-demand skills gap that we have at the moment. It's so topical in the career industry. But so Rod, this one's for you. How can the libraries help support the community and better identify opportunities, especially in those in-demand areas?
I think one of the things that libraries already have on offer is, the whole range of resources through their collections and everything else that they offer through the library that are there primed and ready for the community to use. But it's really, how do you connect the community to those resources? And, we're always looking at things from a community engagement perspective in public libraries. And I think My Careers is a fantastic vehicle that can help make that connection. So, where we see My Careers sitting in the library environment is as that community engagement tool where people from the community come and interact with the platform, and then the platform helps uncover and helps the community to discover all of the great resources that the library already has and can help them on that career journey. So it's a really nice kind of meshing of the platform as a gateway to the resources that the library has. And then also the library, being able to use the usage stats out of a platform like My Careers to see what are the topics of interest that our community are looking at and how can we support those further. So using those data insights is something that's really valuable.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see, pardon me, that communities or libraries are really supporting their communities in identifying and helping identify those people who are wanting to go into the workforce and looking at those in-demand skills, in-demand jobs. So, but Rod, here's another one for you. How are leading libraries achieving continuous insights across their communities quickly and, more importantly, accurately?
I think, again, that comes back to data. So where in years gone by, there was a lot of crystal balling about what needed to be done with libraries and what were the resources that were required, and kind of a just in case mentality about we need to have something in the library that's for everyone in the community that may want to access that at every time. We know now that that's moved to much more of a just-in-time philosophy. So let's get the resources to people when they need them, not just in case. So utilising data is really central to that tenet. And a platform like My Careers can really help with that, where you're getting data about what interests and career opportunities are being sought by the community. You can respond and act to that. But I think also that the use of a platform like My Careers, which is not just a point in time, but an ongoing lifetime tool that people can use ongoing, helps the library adapt with the community as their interests and the community as a whole changes. So getting that sort of data and being able to respond and react to that, I think is super important, and definitely the way that things are going in terms of justification of spend and responding to the community.
Yeah, data is so important now. I think that what's the phrase, data is king, and everyone talks about it, and being able to access that type of data for a community is very important, and making it sure it's justified with their spends. I can see that being a key point. So Fergus, I think Rod just touched on rather than a point of time of collecting that data. So what are the benefits of individuals building their own profiles over time, rather than that point of time that Rod just mentioned?
Yeah, Matthew, look, we're really interested in strengths, interests, passions, people's abilities to collaborate with each other, their levels of empathy, their ability to follow different tasks, complex and uncomplex. And when we're building these pieces of data together, it helps build that really holistic picture. Data is no good unless it's used in the right way. So once we build all this incredible data really quickly, it really gives the libraries the opportunities to then make decisions on how they're resourcing in the right way, getting the right resources away from our product to ensure that that community has the best access to the right information and gets them coming in through the doors, having a positive experience from a student right through into adulthood. So that's a really critical piece for us, is to really work with our clients in ways to capture data that they like to see, but then also help connect it in with getting them to understand how they can better and more effectively use that data in a positive way.
Really interesting to hear you talk about how individuals are doing this through their own data, and it's leading towards a purposeful pathway through that meaningful data you spoke of. But can you just speak more about this, actually, that meaningful data and how that journey can lead into that journey?
Yeah, another interesting piece that we've been working on recently is there's a lot of work being created at the moment around micro-credentialing and the way that students or individuals are attracting digital badges for themselves to then connect in with further education and careers. So now they're being recognised. So we can really see libraries as becoming a hub where individuals can upskill themselves as well, to be able to attract more opportunities to get better at submitting resumes, to enhance different learning skills. So then when they're ready for the workforce, they really do have the opportunities, the credentials, and an executable plan to be able to get through. And we see libraries being a really centralized point, which gives access to all people, and they all have access to be able to bridge their way through to these sort of rewarding and adaptable futures, but also have more opportunities. So more opportunities for things like internships, graduate positions, apprenticeships, in-demand jobs, in an end-to-end solution that's really easy, it's really accessible. That's what our really strong focus is, the equity of education and opportunities.
Awesome. And so, Rod, how could libraries utilize this data then?
I think it all comes back to that justification of what libraries are doing and where those budget dollars are being spent. So we know with the council budget approval process, there's more and more light being shed on the justifications for those, and people in the community want to know that their budgets are being spent in meaningful ways. And I think really looking at that the data that's presented through a platform like My Careers, it does give an insight into the community that's different to anything else a library has access to. So there's jobs data and there's job demand data and that sort of thing, but knowing who in your community is matching to those jobs in an aggregated way, or if there's other trends within your community that you wouldn't otherwise know. Servicing that data through a platform like My Careers, I think is hugely beneficial.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting stuff. It's good to hear that libraries are doing this way as well, and and people are putting that data out there. So one thing there's one thing I've come across with My Careers is that there's a lot of challenges with the industry, and really it is come down to how quickly it moves, and it's how hard it is to maintain pace. So with all the emerging and relevant opportunities in the market, how can libraries support their communities to access this relevant information? Rod?
I think, the great thing about libraries is that there is so much information and so much resource that's already there available. And one of the continual things that we talk about with our customers time and time again is how do we make the community aware of all of the amazing stuff that's available from the library. Yeah. And I'm in my early 40s now as a member of my community here in Hobsons Bay, and I still speak to my friends. I've been working in the library industry for over 15 years, and I speak to my mates about what libraries have to offer, and so many of them just don't know. So being able to find new and exciting ways to surface all of that material and connect with the community to let them know that this stuff is available is hugely important. So, and I think that's super relevant for the young adult and student cohort who, as I said at the start, are engaging with libraries as that third place between school and home, using the physical spaces to go and study, but might not always be willing to delve deeper into what else has the library got to offer. Speaking to them where they are in the digital space about something that's really front and center in their minds, their career journey, where a lot of them may have ideas about where they want to go in their career, but so many others don't really have a clue. Being able to connect them with a platform like My Careers to help them discover opportunities that they may never have thought of, and then transport them straight into the library catalogue or the library resource list to see, oh my God, all this stuff is here already to help me on that journey. It's just extremely powerful.
Yeah, exactly right. And staying on top of that information is key. And I suppose, Fergus, how do we, My Careers, how do we stop it? How do we stay on top of the trends in the market? And how do we make sure that the data that we give to our users is accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we really try and focus on is to ensure that we've got a really high-end user experience for our users. That's one of the unfortunate things with technology is we've got such brilliant access to the best forms of technology that when you're a company, you need to make sure that you're at the level of the technology that's out there that students or individuals are using. So we focused on the past 3 years to ensure we've got a really up-to-date agile platform, which people really enjoy using, but it can be done really quickly with accurate certified data. So we update our data very regularly. We make sure that all the resources are up to date, they're being used the right way. And then we provide sort of, as we would call it, a Tesla style update, where we would update the platform as regularly as we can to ensure that we are a market leader within this career space, taking those feedback loops back from our customers to ensure that we give them the best access towards their futures.
Yeah.
We also make sure that the workflows are not only really up to date, but we also make sure that they're really quick. So 5 minutes per section rather than being weighted down by a 2-hour test. And what we've found is the engagement heavily increases with shorter style testing systems. So people don't just start circling dots and not really reading the questions properly. And we've been working with the leading psychometricians and psychologists here in Australia to connect the questions in with different learning styles, different year levels, to ensure that we're capturing all this information the right way.
Really cool. Really interesting stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's the questions that I've got for you. I might just throw it out to the floor to a bit of a Q&A, which is always the fun part of a webinar, isn't it? So I might just throw it out to the team. Does anyone out there have any questions for Rod or Fergus? Now, here we go. First one. One for you, Fergus. How is my career supporting the career space?
The career industry, we don't want to put them out of a job. We want to support them with the right information so they can have really valuable conversations. The platform does work by itself, so you don't per se need a career advisor, but we certainly support that process for them to help them make the big decisions, whether that's a career advisor, a parent, a mentor. They can do that based on the information that's provided. But we really work closely with the industry bodies and career advisors to make sure that we've got the right information, and the information that we're providing is certainly certified data and the right testing systems too.
Fantastic. So another one, could we trial the product or get an information pack? I think that would be for you, Rod.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, the product's kind of in the market now. So it's been launched in public libraries for the first time, which is super exciting. So at James Bennett, we've been communicating with all of our customers and getting the word out there. And certainly on offer is a free trial for anyone that would like it. So we've got a few dozen libraries that are currently on there and testing and trialing the product. Yep. So yeah, more than happy to evaluate all of that, and no limit to the number of staff within each organisation that can have a play with the system. Generally we have a time period, but certainly get in touch with the James Bennett team here, myself, yep, or Chris in particular, or Nikki over in New Zealand if you're there, and we can set you up and guide you through the process. So it's a great way to be able to have a play with it yourself. Also, I know a lot of people that have tried it with their kids who might be in their teen years, or even transitioning from primary school to high school, if you have told me that they want to just have a bit of a look at how their kids deal with it as well. Yep. And also parents using it on behalf of their young kids. So there's a whole range of use cases for this. But at the library, contact myself or any of the JB team, and we'll certainly set you up with a trial.
Yeah, someone else has actually asked if there's going to be a live demonstration today, or do we inquire about that separately? I'm guessing they'll just go back to what you just said before. Contact your James Bennett rep, either Rod or Chris, and they'll be able to set up a time with you and give you a live demonstration of the platform itself. So moving on, do customers use this once, or users use this once, or is it ongoing?
Certainly a ongoing platform. You can get the benefit for the first 30 to 45-minute session using it. You yep. could set and forget, but we certainly connect in with our users during the year to get them at all the most important periods when they're looking at different career-based information. So we really capture them, and we're proud to have a 75% ongoing engagement rate with our customers over time. Mm-hmm. So they are coming back in and using the product to build that profile as they go through school, or if they go through further education and then beyond as well.
Cool. And so how do you maintain pace with the industry, Fergus?
really connecting in with leading partners. So we don't just look at the Australian government for data and information. We look into all the leading job providers and integrate that data within the system. So we make sure we've got really up-to-date, accurate career and course and information.
Awesome. Now,
I'll just add to that one as well, Matthew, before we move on. I think that's one of the really cool things that that we at James Bennett were so impressed with My Careers product, that it does have data for every single tertiary and further education course in Australia. So, every uni course, every TAFE course. New Zealand's going live in there in the next very short while. So super exciting just to have that coverage, and even just to log into the platform and see that piece of it alone. That functionality is incredible. And then to tie that in with all of the other stuff around personality and interests is super powerful. So, and the, keeping that data updated, the way that it's pretty much in real time is super exciting. So just thought I'd add that to that question there as well.
Well, just on that, actually, I probably should throw this one at Fergus as a question for myself. Is there any tech developments coming up? I know there's something on the horizon, which may be around traineeships and apprenticeships.
Yep. So we are integrating all the internships, graduate positions and apprenticeships, as well as all the in-demand careers available for really easy access. We are starting development on the 1st of December. So that'll be live early next year. We're thinking start of January. It won't be as late as Feb, so that's fantastic to see. And we just continue making those developments throughout next year as well for updated pieces of the updated comments that we've had from different libraries or schools, just to keep making sure that the data and the product is evolving.
Awesome. Now, I just had a question come in from Justine Lester. Does it include any information about study scholarships and funding?
Yep, so we're integrated with, you can see all the further educational institutions study scholarships that are available. We don't actually get any application process through the platform, but you can see what's available at each further educational institution.
Awesome. Now,
just to speak to the New Zealand experience as well, I think it's worth noting that we think it's an exciting prospect to have this level of access to all of the education options in Australia for New Zealand citizens, understanding there's about 10,000 Kiwi citizens who are studying at the tertiary level in Australia currently. And to my knowledge, all of them have access to all of the same levels of access as Australian citizens. So there's no international student requirements for New Zealanders studying here. They have the same access as Australians. So pretty powerful in that regard for New Zealand.
Awesome. Now I just got a question around pricing here. Right, I guess that would be coming from you.
Yeah, same thing. It's basically a tiered system based on the size of the library feeder local government area. So look, get in touch, and if we're setting up with a trial, we can forward the pricing on and all of that stuff as well. But we've tried to make it as accessible as possible, knowing that times are tough budget-wise for libraries. So yeah, please touch base with us, and we can get back to you with that info as well.
Now, a question from Anne-Marie Dye from, I think that's Rockhampton Libraries. I'm not too sure. It's cut off there, but I've just dived onto My Careers and realized that you can create a special live promotional page info for the final page for the My Careers report. What time frame can you provide this in?
Instantly, which is a very nice thing to be able to say.
Yep. Yeah, we've got a yes from Anne. Yes. Got exclamation marks. And I've just got one last question here. Finally, before if there's no more coming in. Finally, is this an American product, or they've noticed it's just .com, not .com.au? Can you just elaborate on that for us, Fergus?
Yeah, we own the .com and the .au, but it's certainly an Australian company. But we are launching in North America very shortly. So that development, again, is starting on the 1st of December. And we'll have the whole of North America in there by early January as well. So we are working with partnerships across there, in the library space at the moment too, which is exciting for Australian students that are looking at doing IB or looking at opportunities across North America as well. Then they'll be able to do it from the one system.
Fantastic. Guys, I think that's it. We've got no more questions coming in. It's a bit hot there in a second, wasn't it? Oh, quick, fast. Great. Guys, Rod, thank you so much for joining us today. Fergus as well. Like your guys' knowledge of the industry, libraries, careers, it's really great to hear. And, it's very interesting. For those people that want to share this with their colleagues, we have recorded it. So I'll follow up after this with, I'll send this through to Rod, and Rod can send it through to the libraries. And we've got a recording. And so please pass it on to your colleagues or any other libraries that might be interested in exploring the career space within the library. But that's it from us. So thank you so much for attending, and hope we'll speak to you soon. Cheers.
Wonderful. Bye.
Bye.